Hey, welcome to Aaron's Heart. My name is Darby and I'll be your bartender. Today we have two cocktails on our menu. One is Paris Between the Wars. The other is my mom's favorite, the French 75. All right, so after a very long, like 4 or 5 week hiatus, I'm back. There's a few reasons for that. All of them are gonna sound like excuses, but I switched jobs, had to get my feet under me at this new job. It's been chaos, and then my parents actually came in last weekend and chaos ensued. So anyway, enough whinging on about that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and make two really fun cocktails that are both, interestingly enough, World War I era, or at least World War I adjacent cocktails. One of them, the first one we're going to do, is the French 75, which was named after the kick of the, I believe, the French 75 millimeter cannon or field artillery gun. In World War I, it was Henry, hold on, the name's going to come to me, MacElhorn, I believe is his name, and he ran Henry's New York bar in Paris, France. So it was an American-style bar in Paris, France. He's kind of one of the godfathers of that era of cocktails. So really interesting. There's a ton of history there. I won't go into all of it, but it was said that this cocktail delivered the kick of a French 75 millimeter field artillery gun, which is really fun. And it's not my cup of gin, but it might be yours. And it does actually do a lot of things really right in the alcohol world, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and go through our ingredients and then we'll start making this thing because it's really fun. And these are two kind of like sibling cocktails we're gonna do. The other one, let me talk about this one real quick also. Both of these are topped with sparkling wine or champagne of your choice. So I do have a brand new bottle of this Prosecco Cupcake Vanilla, which generally speaking, I use this. This La Marca Prosecco. It's very simple, it's clean, it's easy, but I think especially in the Paris Between the Wars, it's kind of bland and boring. And I really wanted to spice things up. This cupcake I really like because it adds another little layer of flavor. So it's really fun. This is relatively cheap. You can get it just about everywhere. This came from Walmart. So, all right. Anyway, you'll need this for both of these cocktails. For our French 75, very simple. 3 ingredients is all you need. A gin, preferably a London dry style gin. Today we're using this Tanqueray. This was a request of my mom. So mom, here's your Tanqueray. I love Tanqueray. I think it's got a wonderful flavor profile. You could use just about anything for this. Typically, I would use Beefeater because Beefeater is the superior gin of all gins. And then you're gonna need high quality lemon juice from Walmart. Fresh lemon juice if you've got it. If you're doing in bulk, probably Blue Tape high quality lemon juice. For our Paris Between the Wars, we'll go over that when we start making it. Let's make this guy really quickly. Super easy, all right? Both of them will need simple syrup also, but it's very small quantities. And if you really like your gin, you can actually leave the simple syrup out. Now, both of these you can make directly in the glass. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give them a quick shake just to kind of chill them out. Don't put your champagne or sparkling wine in it when you shake it. That's a bad idea. So, we're gonna go, that came out really, really fast. 1 ounce of gin, right into your shaker. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. That one didn't pour nearly as fast. And then our simple syrup, 1-to-1 ratio, plain simple syrup, 1/4 ounce, just like that. Let's throw a bit of ice into here. That should be enough. I'm throwing my ice all over the place. Boom. Close this up, give it a quick shake just to chill it out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and strain it off into a coupe. You should use a champagne flute. I don't have any. It's on my list of things to get, and I just haven't gotten any because there's like 3 cocktails I drink that you drink them out of. So anyway, quick shake. Really just to kind of chill this out a little bit, you know, cool off your ingredients. That way when everything mixes together, it gives you a beautiful, nice, dense flavor. And we can go back to that whole, do you shake gin argument? That is a huge argument for absolutely for another day. I don't want to have that right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Some people say you can't shake gin. Some people say it doesn't matter. It doesn't bruise the gin, blah, 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 blah. I'm not getting into all that. That's way too much science for me. So anyway, all right. Take our little, well, if I can grab it again, your cage off of your cork. Open these quickly, but don't aim it at yourself or at somebody else or at windows or anything that, if you let this go and it decides to take off, you don't want to hit somebody in the face with it, okay? Now, top with 4 to 6 ounces of your chilled champagne. Please keep your champagne chilled and sealed if you're not drinking the entire bottle right then and there, okay? That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, you could totally throw an ice cube into this. If you had this in champagne flutes, keep them in the refrigerator or the freezer for a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the French 75, it's absolutely beautiful. It's a light yellow color. The smell, you get the champagne. There's clearly some bubbles in it. But my Tanqueray is coming through. The lemon is actually coming through a lot more than you'd expect. Okay, so it's very bright. It's really, the bubbles from your champagne open up your palate. Everything's so bright and so big in your mouth. The gin, I think Tanqueray is an absolutely phenomenal cocktail. Absolutely phenomenal gin for this cocktail. And I think it is because it's not as dry, right? A lot of your London dries, Beefeater is one of them, they are very, very dry, right? Seagram's is another one, very, very, very dry. And sometimes they will suck out any kind of excess sweetness, and this needs just that hint of sweetness that's there. I really do think using this quote unquote flavored Prosecco is really the good way to go on this because it does add another layer of sweetness. This is absolutely simple to drink. When they say a kick like a 75 mil field gun, I can see where it comes from. Something like this, easily. And I don't even particularly care for the French 75. It's not my cup of gin, right? But that is phenomenal. The ratios there are balanced. It's sweet. It's dry enough to be dry. It's sweet enough to be sweet. It's bubbly enough to be like happiness in your mouth. But it's not a single part of it is overbearing. So after this, we're gonna go ahead and start our Paris Between the Wars. Give me 1 second. All right, and we're back. Paris Between the Wars. This is a blended Scotch cocktail. So you will need a Scotch, Monkey Shoulder, Buchanan's. I am using this Johnny Walker Black. I think this is a phenomenal blended Scotch. It holds up well enough. If you want to splurge and you like Scotch in general, say maybe you are a cigar smoker and you like to sit outside and smoke cigars, or sit inside and smoke cigars if that's your thing, and you have some monkey shoulder sitting around, monkey shoulder is a great option for this, but I do though have this, which I like Johnnie Walker Black by itself. I think it's really, really good. You will also need Campari, so super simple. You'll need our famous lemon juice again, simple syrup, and of course, because these are both in the same vein, also from the Paris, the French area, we're going to be using some more bubbly wine, champagne, prosecco, whatever you happen to have. So let's get into making this bad boy. Again, this is another one that's really, really simple to make. It's easy to drink. It's bright. It's fresh. It's fun. So let's go. It's almost all equal parts also, which is really nice. It's all very simple to put together. So we're going to need 3/4 of an ounce of our blended Scotch. None of my toppers fit into this, so that I have to pour it really carefully or it'll go everywhere. We are going to need 3/4 of an ounce of our Campari. Okay, talk about Campari for just a second. If you're not a Campari fan, and I know a lot of you are not, this is a hard one to get into. It's kind of divisive. It's kind of funky. It's very, very bitter. It's very earthy. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I do believe that it is an acquired taste. Don't give up on it if you hate it the first time you drink it, okay? I'll say that. I'll leave it there. It's different. 1/4 of an ounce of lemon juice and 1/4 of an ounce, there we go, of simple syrup, just like that. Right? A little ice. Close it up. Give it a good shake. You don't need to shake these long, especially if you're smart and you keep your coupes or cocktail flutes or champagne flutes or whatever you're going to drink your cocktail out of in the freezer, okay? It's very important. Keep your glassware for things like this, things that are served up, meaning no ice, keep it in the freezer. Also, same thing goes for this. Don't put this in the freezer, but keep this chilled, okay? Whether you stick it in a bucket full of ice, whether you keep it in your refrigerator, whatever you do, keep this chilled until you're ready to use it. Again, 4 to 6-ish ounces of our sparkling wine, champagne, prosecco, whatever you happen to have. We'll let the bubbles die down in that. While we do that, this is a very cool one too. There's some debate on where and when the Paris Between the Wars was created or thought of or whatever. Obviously, it's a very simple cocktail, right? It doesn't have a lot of crazy ingredients. Everything here was pretty readily available, but it's very interesting. It's fun. It's got things, there's not a lot of classic cocktails, especially from this era, that were done with Scotch. So that's kind of different. And the color is beautiful. I mean, it's like a pinkish red, almost like a bloody sunset, right? And that's kind of morbid to think about in terms of World War I. There were lots of those. But they say that this was created initially under a different name, which may have been Paris Sunrise, sometime after 1918, right? So clearly well after our French 75, which was 1915, during the war. This was created after the Great War, sometime after 1918. Armistice Day was on November 11th at 11 a.m. is when the armistice was signed. They said it was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month when the Great War ended. So, at Buckingham Palace, there you go. Little knowledge for the day, I guess. But let's go ahead, now that our bubbles have died down, and give our Paris Between the Wars a taste. All right, so nose immediately, Scotch is very present. Campari is very present. Lemon kind of gets lost a little bit. So it's smoky, right? Which we expect. we expect the smoky Scotch flavor to come right through, and it does. You're inhaling that smoke, right? And then it's well balanced. I'll give it that. It's very well balanced. Smoky Scotch, earth notes. Honestly, the bitterness of the Campari is down way further than I thought it would be. That lemon juice kind of hints through at the very end. It's there, but it's not present. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there, but it's not there. It's not like our French 75, where you can clearly pick up that lemon. Very little sweetness. It's I would say it's much drier than our French 75, which is interesting, but also not unexpected. And then the wine, the sparkling wine, your bubbles, they do open up there, but it's almost like they're open. It's like gunshots, right? It's like little pocket marks. It's not nearly like our French 75, which is very, very bright and bold and bubbly feeling. This is much more subtle, right? And not subtle in a lack of flavor. It's got plenty of that, but subtle in there's so much going on, and then everything is just tapered in together. It's really weird. It's hard to explain. These are two phenomenal cocktails to give a try. If you have, say somebody gives you a bottle of bubbly and you have some gin or some lemon juice or some scotch and some Campari laying around, these are two cocktails that I think are absolutely worth a try. They're a ton of fun. A lot of really cool history there as well, from a very grim time in the world's history, right? World War I was no joke. There's a reason why it's still called the Great War to this day. Anyway, thank you all so very, very much for joining me. Thank you for being so very patient while I get my life back together. It has been an absolute roller coaster, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, please don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. Tip your bartenders. Please tip your bartenders. We always make sure you do everywhere you go, all right? Service staff, bartenders, anybody that's serving you that you have an opportunity to drop a tip, please do. It really does. Makes our day. It really does help out. So thank you all so very much. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. I don't know which one of these I like more. Good thing I have two.